Hello and welcome to Diary of an Unschooler, the space where we explore the world of deschooling, unschooling, and natural learning. I'm your host, Leah McDermott, and I'm here to guide you through the fascinating journey of alternative education and meaningful learning experiences with your children. Thank you to all of our listeners for joining us once again, or if you're new here, a warm welcome to you. Let's dive into today's topic. Hello and welcome to Diary of an Unschooler, the space where we explore the world of deschooling, unschooling, and natural learning. I'm your host, Leah McDermott, and I'm here to guide you through the fascinating journey of alternative education and meaningful learning experiences with your children. Thank you to all of our listeners for joining us once again, or if you're new here, a warm welcome to you. Let's dive into today's topic. Good morning, friends. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently. So normally what I talk about, of course, is homeschooling, unschooling, living a life that is free from school. I apologize, by the way, if you can hear landscaping equipment in the background today. They're working all over the place out there. But today we're going to take things a little bit on an alternate track, and we're going to discuss the 5 things that I would do if my child was in public school. And I say this because I recognize that everyone's path is different. For one reason or another, maybe your children are in public school and need to remain there for the time being. Maybe it is a family situation, a work situation where there's no one to watch them. Maybe it's a safety situation. Maybe it's a custody situation. There's all kinds of reasons, right? Maybe the child really, really wanted to try it and you want to give them that experience. Whatever the reason, I wanted to help you advocate for your child, because it doesn't have to be a all-around terrible situation, right? Like, we can make the most of this, and I hopefully can help you step into, if you're in the situation, or by the way, if you're not and you know someone who is, share this with them. This is a fantastic episode to share with someone who is maybe not even on the radar of homeschooling, or is maybe just considering it, or can't for whatever reason, right? This is a fantastic advocacy episode. And I think that so many parents are not aware of what their rights are as a parent to request specific things for their child in a public school situation, and also a child's rights in that situation. We feel so often not empowered to protect our child or put these things into place, and I want to help you with that. So I have this list of 5 things. I'm going to talk about them briefly, explain why, what they are, why I would do them. And then I also have a really helpful resource for you that I'll explain at the end that will be linked down in the show notes. Okay. Number 1, and most of these, by the way, are geared towards younger children. However, this is true across the board. This is true for high schoolers, middle schoolers, elementary. A lot of these are issues anyway in elementary school, more so than when they get older. And your child can be a little bit more of an advocate for themselves as they get older, hopefully. But anyway, let's just dive in. Okay, number 1, no behavior charts or any public displays of my child's behavior would be allowed. Again, this is very prominent in many elementary school classrooms, and I have even seen it being utilized as a way to shame children in middle school and even in high school, writing their name on the board, publicly calling them out in front of other people for whatever reason, right? This is things like your elementary student coming home with like red folder, green folder, or like moving their little name on a board of how they acted that day or choices that they made. That is degrading. There is no way we would stand for that as adults. If you went to your job and your boss had a little sticker with your name on it that they moved in front of everybody every time you did something to irritate them, or you didn't make a sale, or you made a mistake, you would file complaints, right, with HR. And yet we just let people do this to our children. So I would absolutely demand that no behavior charts were being used. I would hopefully try to advocate for the whole class, but at a minimum, I would say my child's name will not be utilized on these public displays of behavior management, and I do not want to see these things coming home. Number 2, no homework. Yes, I believe this even through high school. You don't want your boss sending you home with additional work that is time you're not getting paid for. The same is true for our children. We should be able to go home and play and relax and rest and connect and create and be with our families and eat and sleep and not worry about doing work at home. There is multitudes of research on this, especially for elementary students. There is zero benefit of doing work at home. Yes, that includes timed reading, that includes math drills, none of it. I would absolutely demand and let them know that there will be no homework for my child and that homework needs to not be a part of their grade, because that also, there's so much research showing that grading homework is unethical because we cannot control what's going on in a child's home. They might not have help there. Their parents might work different hours. They might not have resources, internet, calculators, anything to support them, books at home. It is very unethical to grade something we can't control. So no homework and no grades on homework. Number 3, no standardized tests. No surprise there. Of course, the one thing I will say here is that, and this is going to be found in the templates that I give you, you would be shocked at how many standardized assessments your children are being given throughout the year that you aren't even aware of. And, we all know about the state tests that happen at the end of the year. Wherever you live, there's all of the end of year testing. And we often think about opting our children out of that. But many, many parents are unaware of how many little assessments like that are given all throughout the year, either in preparation or practice for those tests, or as like other assessments, especially for the pre-reading grades, like kindergarten through second grade. There's so many drill and kill types of standardized assessments that do not benefit the individual child. So get a list of the tests that are going to be given to your child throughout the year, and then choose the ones that you're okay with. And if this were my children, it would be none of them. So no standardized tests for sure. Number 4, and this one is primarily elementary school, but in no circumstance other than safety would I allow my child to not have recess. Never would I allow for the removal of recess as a punishment, as a behavior management technique, as a time to redo or catch up on work. No, you would not let your boss take away your lunch break, right? Because they were mad at you, or to take away, because you didn't do your work enough. Now you can't work, you have to work during lunch. These, you can see the pattern here. This is very childist behaviors that happen in a school system because we are in a childist society. We would never stand for these things as adults, so we need to advocate for our children. Under no circumstances would my child be allowed to lose recess. Again, unless this was a safety measure, something dangerous was on the playground, my child was being a danger on the playground or in danger or hurt, right? Other than safety, no removal of recess. And since that is specifically elementary school, because we don't give our middle schoolers and high schoolers breaks anymore, I would extend that into middle and high school by allowing my child to take as many mental health days as they possibly needed. And I recognize that in some instances, and I work with parents very often who deal with this, if there's too many of those, that ends up with truancy court and things like that. But if you reach a point where that's the issue, then it might be a good opportunity to consider switching to homeschooling, even temporarily. If your child is in a crisis or having, a hard time right now, switching to homeschooling, transferring to something like Bridge Academy to give your child that break that they need. But under no circumstances would I allow a limited number of mental health days. And we know that there is a mental health crisis with our teens right now, and it is almost directly associated with the school system itself. So I would not put my child in danger and risk their mental health by refusing to allow them to stay home when they needed it. And then finally, and this one is more just mindset than anything, but I would remember that regardless of anything else, my home is still the primary learning environment for my child. So just remembering not to place any emphasis or pressure on the things that are happening in school, to create as safe and comfortable of a space at home for my child, allowing them to be, however they needed to detox or rest, relax, talk, shut down, like process those things that are happening to them every day and create a space at home that is a primary safe and comforting place so that they can come home and not feel like it is an extension of school or that there's more pressure when they get home. So quick overview again, or recap, I guess. Number 1, no behavior charts or public displays of my child's behavior. Number 2, no homework. Number 3, no standardized testing or assessments. Number 4, no removal of recess or a limit on mental health days for older kids. And number 5, remembering that home is your primary learning environment. Now, real quick before I go, down in the show notes, you're going to see a link to templates that you can download for free. You can share these with friends, pass them out at school board meetings, whatever you have to do, right? These are templates that you can alter, or what's the word I'm looking for? Edit, to add your child's name, their school name, the teacher's name. Basically, you just plug your information into these pre-written templates that will help you. You can send them directly to the school. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Diary of an Unschooler. I hope today's discussion provided valuable insights for you into the world of unschooling. Remember to subscribe and leave us a review if you found this episode helpful. I record multiple episodes on a variety of topics every week, so make sure to come back soon to dive into more about unschooling and natural learning. A big thank you to our team for making this episode possible. I'm Leah McDermott, reminding you to embrace the journey of learning naturally with your children. Until next time, take care, and remember, all life is learning.